Well, hopefully you all saw the newsletter. And we did complete the one that we used in the sew along. And it came out beautiful. Looks really great. I'm sure if you saw the newsletter, you could see that. But we're going to ask Brenda to join us in a few minutes so you can see it live.
Be ready, because she probably won't stay long. She prefers to be behind the camera, so she's doing us all this favor.
She only mumbles under her breath a little bit when we asked her to do it.
Yes, Sandra, I saw. Sandra had posted that it was 2 shirts and matching jeans. That's what that was.
She is prolific, that girl.
Yeah.
She's.
Do you sleep, Sandra? Don't answer that. Okay, so obviously, you probably all know, but just in case we have anybody new, we spent the last few weeks, how many? 4, 5?
It's closer to 6.
Closer to 6. Working on our Everybody shirt sew along. And last week, Janet finished the shirt, which gave you guys everything that you need to finish your shirt. And of course, you have until end of day, November 15th, to post your finished Everybody shirt. And we will do a drawing on the 16th. We still recommend anybody to watch the sew along, even if you're not interested in making the shirt at this time, or even ever if it's not your thing, because there are a lot of helpful tips and tricks in there on making your sewing look more professional, to be faster, and of course, more fun.
A lot easier, too.
Yes, and easier.
You know, at first, some of the techniques look a little deceptive because you're used to doing it sometimes the opposite way. And yet, if you will allow yourself to try it each time, it gets a little bit easier. Pretty soon you think, I'll never go back. I'll never go back to the other way because this is more successful and easier.
Still getting used to this new layout. Okay. So we wanted to take a minute and let you guys, if you had any questions about last week or any part of the sew along that Janet talked about that you wanted to ask, we're here to answer that.
Absolutely.
Before we move on, and Janet also had promised the demo on the buttonholes, so we're going to do that today.
Yeah, we'll show you how that buttonholer. For those of you who are either newer to sewing or younger sewers, you probably have never used one of these. But those of us who sewed back in the day, we remember them, even if we don't have one anymore. We remember those, and then we remember how frustrated we are with the current buttonholes in the sewing machines. And even if it is many thousands of dollars machine, it still is not delivering the best and most consistent buttonholes. Now, I know some of you do it in the hoop. And while I think that's fine, for those of us who either don't use an embroidery machine or don't have one, it's not an option. It's just not an option. I have an embroidery machine, but I never use it. And so for me to use it for something, I'd have to do a lot of fiddling around, putting all the parts together, reading the manual, practicing, where I just have a machine set up over on one of the tables in the studio that has the grist on it all the time. The grist is the buttonholer. And so every time I want to do a buttonhole, I don't have to do anything but walk over to that machine and it's ready to go. I might have to change the cam depending on the size, and you always want to do a practice 1 or 2. One, to make sure that you have the right amount of interfacing for that type of fabric and that the buttonhole is smooth and nice. And the size fits the button. And the color of thread looks the way you want it to. And then you're ready to go.
All right, so Courtney says that last week she missed a dentist appointment. Missed because of a dentist appointment.
Okay. It's like don't sacrifice your teeth for sewing.
Yeah, this
okay.
is right. So she was asking if it was on YouTube. So yes, Connie, last week's on YouTube. It's also here on Facebook. I'm going to post the link right now to the entire sew along on YouTube. Brenda does a great job of making playlists on our YouTube channel, so you can go and just find in order the entire sew along. You can go back to whatever video that you want that way.
Yeah, they're all numbered. So if you just find the link across the top of the page there, says playlists. And when you open that up, you're going to find the woven bodice series, the knit fit series, the Islander shirt, the easy cape sew along, the our most
Five
recent
easy tees.
5 easy tees, the easy V, all of our sew alongs, a lot of our tips and tricks are in there as well. So we're really, really enjoying the capabilities of YouTube to organize everything. So when we get done here with Tuesdays at 2, shortly thereafter, Brenda will put it up on YouTube. And so it'll be there. But if it's part of a series, like our sew along, then when they'll all end up in the playlist all together. So they're really easy to access. Just like you said.
Yeah. But in different words. So maybe other people heard it better that way. Yeah. Okay. So it's all there now. I put the link to the Everybody Sew Along, and then that can easily get you to our YouTube page if you wanted to see what else is in there. So far I don't have any questions. Lots of people getting them done. Arlene says that her shirt is done and it fits really great. And she said, and I hate shirts because of my big boobs.
Well, I'm glad you got it to fit your big boobs. Because that's our goal, right? If we have big butts, big boobs, little butts, whatever we have, we want our clothes to fit right. And some of us think that, the biggest problem in the world is having big parts. Well, that's not always true. Brenda doesn't have any big parts, and hers was complicated because of forward shoulders, a little different tilt to the shoulder. One shoulder's longer than the other. Once we got all that organized, you can see how beautiful it looks on her. Maybe we should have her come in now.
You have to ask her that.
Hey, Brenda. I think she's coming.
Now you can also see the picture in the newsletter of Brenda with her shirt on. This is the shirt Janet was sewing on the entire sew along. So don't think, yep, you're great. So don't think any sort of bait and switch. This is the shirt Janet was working on.
Oh, and let me...
My long sleeves.
Yes.
My long sleeves.
And let me tell you, how much fabric do we have left, Brenda? We had a piece about 10 or 12 inches long that was about 4 inches wide at one end and about an inch at the other. That's all we had left. But it sure came out beautiful, and it looks great on her. Brenda loves navy anyway. Can you show us the back? See how nice that fits? It's just beautiful. It must be really comfortable.
It is very comfortable. I like it. Yeah. Okay, fine.
All your hard work paid off.
Thank you,
Both
Brenda.
of you.
Thank you. Yes, Brenda worked hard on that too. As I said in the newsletter, it did take us a couple of extra tries at the muslin to get it just right. And because the shoulders are not the same, and that is true with more people than not, then you have to create a right and a left everywhere, the back and the front, so that that it hits the right angle. And that's the whole point of making the custom pattern. But then from this point forward, Brenda can take that pattern and put it on top of another shirt and know exactly what changes she needs to make. She'll know the shoulder's not long enough on one side. She'll know the sleeves aren't long enough, or whatever it might be. So that makes correcting a new pattern that much easier.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I think everybody here knows Brenda is an amazing seamstress. She could have made that shirt. She was there right along the way with everything, but we just wanted to use it for the sew along so that what better than to have a usable shirt at the end
Yeah.
for somebody who's going to love it and use it. So, but yes, Brenda is a wonderful seamstress, and I'm sure she will now use that to make more.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well, I'm kind of excited we don't have any questions. That's kind of cool.
Excited in the way that you feel you explained everything properly, not that you don't want to answer questions.
That's correct. Well, and I reiterate quite often, but as a teacher, you learn you have to do that because no one's going to hear 100% of what you say. They may still be
What?
cogitating on what you said 2 minutes ago while you're still talking, because I talk a lot. And so I know I have to repeat it. Okay. Well,
So if you do have questions as you're making your shirt, because we know not everybody got started yet or they're at different points, feel free to email Janet islandersewing@comcast.net.
yeah.
White jacket behind me. I think right behind me is just a muslin. Oh yeah, muslin.
This is a muslin, and it's a jacket pattern I'm working on. Not ready anytime real soon. And this is another everybody's. Both of these are everybody's here.
And this
And the blue one is as well. It's the view B, the tunic view.
Yes. So that answers that. So you want to do your buttonhole?
Yeah, let's
demo?
go and
Are you ready?
play with it. Sure. Sure. I hope so. All right, come on over, Jess.
Sure. Sure. All right. There you are, Janet.
All right, point me down.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I can see the comments in case there's any questions
Okay.
before we move all the way over here.
Okay. So I've got a sample here of a flannel that I'm working on. And as I showed you last week, we mark buttonholes with very long lines. So this long vertical line represents the center front. And then the long or wide horizontal line is where the bottom of the buttonhole should be. So here's our Grace buttonholer. It's underneath, you put in cams for exactly the size buttonhole you want. And they come with all the cams. So this one has a 1/2 inch buttonhole in it. And this turns till you can get just to the place you want to start on your button. And I usually start right at the end, the bottom as it were. This dial right here allows you to decide how wide of a hole or distance, right here, Jess, you want in your buttonhole. So what I have it set at right now, which is 4, is about that wide. So it depends on the size of the buttonhole, the loft of the fabric, and the thickness of the button. So that's why you always want to do a test and cut it open and test it with the button before you continue through your garment. All right, so then it's just this simple. We're going to lift up the foot and set this down. Now you see this line right here. There's a little indicator so that is the center of the bottom of the buttonhole. And now sorry, I do this all the time. I unthreaded it. I was ready.
Sure.
Sure. Okay, let's see if I can do this without my magnifier.
That's going to do it.
Hmm?
Do you want me to do it?
No, I don't think so, but I'll let you know in a sec. Get in there. Yeah, probably just because I don't. Yeah, go ahead. Thanks.
I got it through. Can I pull it? There you go.
All right. All right. And normally I would put this under the buttonhole, but I'm not going to take that time right now. I'm just going to leave it. Okay, so now I want to make sure this is going to end, and I'm a little too far back, so I'm going to come forward a little bit further. And after you do this a few times, it becomes very, very quick and easy. So then all we have to do is operate the sewing machine. So the foot pedal over here on the table, and go around the buttonhole twice. There's one time. And if you stop right there, then when you move to the next buttonhole, you know you're right at that intersection. And there's our buttonhole. It's just that easy. Okay. And you can adjust the stitches on your zigzag to make them wider or narrower. But on a shirt, they're very, very narrow.
I have a question over here, but I can't.
Okay.
Oh, it wasn't a question.
Oh.
Marlene says, Christopher Neiman is a big Islander Sewing Systems fan. He loves Janet's men's classic dress shirt. He makes it over and over again. Yes, thank you.
I've had many phone calls and meetings with Christopher, and he adored Aunt Margaret. He learned from her videos at first. And then he and I met up at a Baby Lock convention several years ago, and he just loves it because it's practical, it makes sense, and it makes beautiful shirts.
Okay, Sophie wants to know, what brand of sewing machine are you using?
This one, this is a Sears Kenmore. Kenmores back in the day were some of the best machines. I learned on a Kenmore. But what you need to know if you're interested in doing what I'm doing here, which is creating a machine that's just designated for buttonholes, is that a newer machine might not work. You need a certain distance here. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but you need at least a couple of inches or more. I've got about 2 1/4 here. But you see how this is. If this housing was lower, then this wouldn't be able to set up onto the machine because it has to hook around the bar here. So you want to watch for that. If you're looking for used machines, you can buy them. I mean, I paid $25 for this machine because it's older and everybody wants a new machine that does more stitches. But with a buttonholer, all you need is a really nice zigzag. And you can talk to your sewing machine dealers because they take them in on trade all the time, and then they fix them up, clean them up, and then resell them. So you might find one that way as well.
So that might have answered your question, Celine, but she said, can the buttonhole machine be used with a FOF?
Well, yes, but maybe not a current FOF. Now there are, and also it's important to know there's high shank, low shank, and slanted needle. So the slanted are the singers most of the time, and they have their own buttonholer, and you can find those. I purchased a couple of them. They were made for the Singer Futuras and the Singer Touch and Sews. And they are the same type of machine, but they're specifically set up for the slanted needle. So you do want to watch for that to make sure that the machine that you're buying it for is the correct buttonholer, that it fits that high, low, shank, or the slanted.
Okay, and then Sophie also is wondering, do you have to tie off the loose ends at the end of your buttonhole?
No. They're sealed in there. Generally, I use fray check on all my buttonholes. So on my buttonhole, I run a bead of fray check down the center of the hole before I cut it open. I let it dry. But no, you just clip those off. That zigzag, you've gone over it twice, and it is very short and tight. It's not coming undone. If you have any worries at all, a little dab of fray check.
Shelly's wondering, do you use a heavier weight thread for your buttonholes?
No, I don't on shirting. Now, if you were going up to a coat, you might want to. But with a shirt, the idea is to keep it as insignificant as possible. That's why the stitches are really short. We just want to secure the fabric around the button, but the buttonhole is insignificant.
I believe you mentioned it, but a couple people have asked the brand of the buttonholer.
It's the Grist, Grist. I want to get something, 1 second. They were the original buttonhole machines.
Don't leave those out too long.
Why? Okay, so here's the singer, one of the singers, and this was from the first machine I ever bought for myself. That's a buttonholer. So those would be for the singer Slanted, and you can find those on eBay all day long. Kenmore made some, but I'm not as happy with the Kenmore version, this particular Kenmore version, because it does not allow me to adjust the width of the buttonhole. Remember I told you this little knob would,
Point at it again.
this would allow you to adjust the width. The Kenmore doesn't have that option on its buttonhole, or at least this one. Let's see if I have another Grist. No, my other Grist is in the other room, but here's what the cams look like. So you have a cam like this, and on the back it tells you exactly the size. So you can what's nice about this particular one is the cam goes in the top. The Grist, the cam goes in the bottom. You got to take it completely off the machine in order to change the cams, which isn't a big deal because you're usually only making one size buttonhole per garment.
So basically there's pros and cons of a lot of them and what machine they work with, and you just have to find the right combination for you.
But they're not expensive. You get them on eBay. So buy one or two, or 10 or 12 like I did. Oh, wait. This one looks like it never got used. Look at that. I mean, everything's in perfect condition. Yeah, look at this. Looks like it was, any part of it was.
Would anybody like to buy it?
Hey! She's selling my stuff.
Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to wait till you're not here.
At least till next week. Okay. Well, that's our buttonholer. I think we answered questions. If there's any others, we can take them now.
I don't see any.
Like I said, I just leave this sitting over in the corner, and every time I need a buttonhole, I'm already set up and I'm ready to go.
All right. So, what is next?
Well, I'd like to talk about these beautiful flannels we got in for fall.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about these a couple weeks ago, but because we were in the middle of our sew along, we just briefly touched on them, let you know that we got some great flannels in.
So these flannels, and if you saw the newsletter last week, you'll see that we did not realize any shrinking. Now, if you're not comfortable go ahead and test it yourself. But I would not pre-shrink, pre-wash these flannels. They don't need it. They've got a nice sizing in them, so they're easier to handle, easier to stitch on. So, but you be the judge. As I said in the article, I don't pre-wash, I pre-shrink. There is a difference because I don't want to wash away every bit of body that I've got in there so I can work with it. But what we found was, okay, I want to talk a little bit about knits. We have just a couple, maybe 4 or 5 bamboo knits left. And we got the word the other day that not only were they going to be hard to get, take a long time to get here, but they were going to almost double in price. So I've been working with a company that's actually making knits in the United States. And so I bought some of theirs. And they are rayon. They have the same feel. They're a wonderful knit. And these are heathered. So here's one, if you can show this one up close. And it is on the website. But what I thought was really fun is how beautifully it coordinates with this flannel. So a customer called today and said, do you have any knits that coordinate with the flannels? Because I want to make a shirt and then make a knit like turtleneck to wear underneath it. And she said she liked this Purple Passion flannel. And I went over and I noticed this went so beautifully because it's a heather. So it kind of blends with it really nicely. So after I took a look at that for her, I thought, well, let me look at some of the other flannels that we have and see if we have other knits to coordinate. So this is one I'm working on right now, and I love this for my husband. So I'm making my husband this shirt out of this. Now this is so hard to photograph. You may not, it's called Cappuccino, and it actually has a brown black, a gray, and a gray black in it. It's just it's very difficult to photograph what beautiful colors are in here, and they're very subtle. But this would go with the grays. We have 2 gray knits. This one is a micro modal, and this one is a bamboo. So it would go with either one of those, or it would go with our beautiful extra black French terry modal. So any of those that would go with. And then these two both go with these beautiful grays as well. And I think this one's called Wild Blue Yonder. I don't remember. This is an earth tone piece. But they both look really beautiful, and you could coordinate those with little camis, t-shirts, turtlenecks, whatever, to go underneath.
Especially in this layering season.
Yes, it's perfect
where
for
you
that.
need a little something in the morning and not in the afternoon.
All right. And then you want to flip over. I can't reach those over there.
Oh, you can't reach them at all?
Yeah, well,
okay.
There's a little stuff back.
No biggie.
But there's 2 blues here. The one in the back just is a tencel. And it's
this one?
It's we call it the denim blue tencel. It's got a real nice drape to it. And then the one next to it is the little bit of bamboo we have left in that blue. But they both work really well with that flannel plaid. And again, all these plaids are from the same manufacturer, and they should be good to go right off the bolt. But again, if you are the least bit nervous, try my 4-inch test. It's in last week's newsletter, so you can just take a look at what I did, but it's really nothing to it. You cut a 4-inch square out of the fabric near the end, and then you get it very good and wet with warm water, and then put it through the dryer, and then press it and put it back and see if it fits. Now, I did a fabric that we're testing for something entirely different the other day, and it did not fit. It definitely lost like about 2.25%. And so we have to note that. But now we know what we have to do. We do have to pre-shrink that fabric. And a lot of flannels, especially if you're buying them at the box stores, are going to need to be pre-washed, and they are not going to have this kind of body. So if you're used to working with flannels that you maybe bought at the chain store, they don't carry anything this high quality. Their stuff is very soft and very flimsy. This fabric has a lot of body to it. It's
Oh,
not
good.
wimpy.
Debbie is wondering what the wrong side looked like, so you worked that right in.
Well, there really isn't an obvious wrong side.
Right.
Because these are yarn dyed. And what yarn dyed means for all of you newbies is that instead of dyeing the fabric after it's been woven, the print has been woven into it. So each one of these threads was the different blues and grays, and then woven to create the plaid. And that's always more desirable. You can tell the straight of the grain really easily. If you buy a fabric that the plaid has been printed on, it can almost always going to be slightly off grain. But if you buy a plaid that has yarn dyed, then you can use the stripe as your straight of grain because it has to be the straight of grain because it was woven that way. I hope that makes sense.
All right.
I'm coming back.
Couple more announcements. Yeah, come
Okay.
back. That we will sit down for.
Oh yeah, we got a fun one coming up here.
Oh, golly.
Couple of them. Couple of exciting announcements.
The fun just keeps coming. All right. A lot of excitement over the Made in the USA.
We also have Pontes from that company too, a Princeton gray and a black. And I'm looking into getting more because I just love the fact that it's made in the USA. The price is going to be good. You're going to see that it's a little bit better than the bamboo was, but it's every bit as nice.
Yep. I agree. And the yarn dyed. Excited about that as well.
Okay,
So,
excellent. Yes.
The more you know.
It's time to get ready for Christmas, right? Or fall season. These are absolutely wonderful shirts for young and old alike, men and women. But, a lot of times we get to a certain point and there's a young man, a son-in-law, whatever, a college student, and you just, I don't know what to get him. Make him a custom shirt. Find his favorite colors. Make it just for him. He likes 2 pockets. Put 2 pockets on it. He doesn't like pockets. Don't put pockets on it. Make it a custom just for him. What?
I was trying to answer Lynn or Pam's question off topic, but
Okay.
That's how we do.
Oh, we love
you,
off
Pam.
topic.
She says, have been wanting to ask for some time now, who is the brand and name of Janet's eyeglasses?
Oh. I know.
She knows. She's going to go look. Just for you, Pam.
The red ones are the same brand, too.
And she says if you like her red ones, they're the same.
Izumi. Izumi. Izumi.
Izumi.
It's Japanese, obviously.
Love your Japanese fabrics, your Japanese glasses.
It's all by the luck.
Is it?
I pick out glasses because I like the way they look. I didn't look at the brand. I didn't even know this brand existed. But I did like them so much that I went and got new lenses for them because the lenses got scratched on both pair. And usually I just go and buy all new glasses. But I love these so much. These and the red ones.
Hopefully that helps Pam. And then Linda, back to our sewing stuff, would like to know how much extra would you buy of the plaid to match when you're doing the everybody shirt?
The max you would need is an extra half, maybe a quarter. But take into consideration the size of the plaid. If it is a small plaid that repeats and it's even, you don't need much, if any. But if it is a larger plaid, maybe like that Wild Blue Yonder, then maybe just go up to the half yard more.
Oh.
The whole thing is when we cut out a plaid shirt, and remember, folks, on the playlist, you're going to find under tips and techniques Janet's recipe for cutting out a plaid shirt. And hopefully I get mine done. I'll show you next week. But we cut everything out on the flat. There's nothing cut on the fold, especially with plaids. Even if your pattern has pieces that are cut on the fold, you want to make them so they're on the flat, because you want to confirm that you have the same stripe under this arm on the left side that you have under this arm on the right, so you're going straight across. And then you match that center front line. After that, and you match the side seams, the rest of it, we have little tricks and tips, like cutting things on the bias so that you don't have to match everywhere. But you'll see that. Go to the playlist.
All right. So Pam says, thank you about the glasses. Arlene, am I allowed to plead the 5th?
Uh-oh.
She asked what pattern I'm wearing. This is a Old Navy original. Or not so original.
Yeah.
But thank you. Yep. You can find it at Old Navy. Okay, so if you have any more questions, shout them out. Otherwise, we're going to move on. We can always come back on topic or not. We'll see what we can do. So we have a sale this week. Was that in the newsletter, or are they hearing it here first?
This is the Tuesdays at 2 is the first to hear about it.
You guys are special.
Yes, we're going to run a sale this week.
On?
Books. All of our books and book combos are 15% off through next Monday night.
Okay, so a little bit different about this sale, especially people who have been with us a while. This is the first time we're going to be doing this because it's like kind of exclusive sale. It is not going to be marked on the website. It is going to be on all books, and I will send you that link right now so you know, but it's on all books, but it's not going to be marked. It's going to show up in your cart. So when you go to check out, your discount will the 15% discount will come off. So when you go to the website and you don't see that they're on sale, no worries. Get them in your cart, and that's when the sale will come off.
Right. Yep. And so that includes the pattern drafting, the pattern grading, the Islander Sewing Systems construction book, our pant drafting book and DVDs. There's the combo of the Islander Sewing Systems with the USB or DVD, or you can buy them a la carte. So you can buy the book a la carte, or you can buy the bundle and still receive the 15% off. So there's a lot of good books in there. Connie's written quite a few. I have a couple, and some good quality sewing and drafting information. So if you were thinking about any of those, now might be the time to grab them.
If you have a favorite already, put it in the comments so other people can know maybe what they need to get.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a favorite that you've purchased so far. Mm-hmm. Ginger is wondering if you have recommendations for how to finish the seams on the flannel.
Well, when you make a shirt, the almost all the seams are enclosed. The only seams that are not enclosed on a shirt naturally are the side seams and the arm side. And if you want to enclose those, then you would do a French seam is the easiest. So do a French seam for the arm side and the underarm, but I'd still nail it down by top stitching it so it laid flat. And in that case, I would top stitch it not next to the seam, but right on the folded edge of the French seam. So it was like a wide top stitching then. Yeah, but that works great. I generally just serge them. And then again, same as we did with the Everybody's, is then I top stitch them down and needle width away. And they last forever that way. But if you want that real authentic shirt look like you buy at the Brooks Brothers or whatever, all the seams are enclosed, and my advice is doing a French seam. Where'd you go, Jess? Believe it or not, I'm done talking.
Nah.
That's all I had to say.
Believe
about
it
that.
or not.
I'm like Forrest Gump. That's all I have to say about that.
Take it away. Okay, so that 15% off all books. It'll show in your cart, so don't fret if you don't see it before you check out. If you have any questions, feel free to email us. Now, for next week, it's been a while. So if you're new here, prepare your internet. Because we will be doing a live sale. That means we will go through what we have here in the fabric. Could be notions, could be books, could it be from the Islander stash, could be from Janet's stash, especially if she's not paying attention. So you never know what you might find, but what we do is we sell it live, and we'll give you all the directions on that next week. It's basically a whoever claims it first process, but it's always a deep discount. Sometimes, for example, it might be like the end of a bolt of something. Maybe something might have a small pinhole in it. We will always let you know if there's anything like that. But most important is to find the fastest internet speed that you can if you're interested in purchasing. So sometimes that may be your phone. It may be your computer. It might be the Wi-Fi at McDonald's. I don't know. But wherever you know that you can get your best speed, that is going to be where you want to be next Tuesday.
At 2 Eastern time.
That's right. Don't worry, Deb. I'm sorry you had car trouble. You can always check out the video here on Facebook or YouTube when Brenda gets it up in the next day or so. But yeah, so that's what we're doing next week. We'll gather some fun stuff together for you.
Yeah, I've already started. I'll keep an eye on you. Mm-hmm.
Does Dad have to go get Jack?
I don't know. I haven't heard.
She doesn't know.
Oh, excuse me.
So that's what we'll be doing next week. And we have the sale. And if you have any questions on your Everybody shirt, again, the best way to get a hold of us is through email, islandersewing@comcast.net. That will get your fastest response. You have, yeah. Cassie says, thanks to TikTok, I found an online fabric thrift store you could donate Janet's stash. Hey! Oh, she could hear me. She may have left the room, but she could hear me. It's okay. Thanks, Cassie. So don't forget, if you finish your Everybody shirt, you have until November 15th, end of day November 15th. The 16th is a Tuesday. On Tuesdays at 2, we will draw at least one winner of a fun prize. We do this pretty much every so long. So participate and have fun. And if you're not making the shirt, make sure to go over to the community portion of our Facebook page. That's where all your posts are, and you can see what everybody is making. Sandra already has 2 done in a pair of pants. It's lovely. And who was the other?
Linda Smalley.
Linda Smalley. Yes, hers is over there. So get some inspiration. See what other people are doing.
Yeah. I know. We had someone write today and say they were very inspired by the picture of Brenda's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
I know, and I don't think you can do it in the wrong fabric. There's so many choices. Just have
What
fun
about
with
quilter's
it.
cotton?
Yes, you can do it in the wrong fabric if you use quilter's cotton.
But as far as design,
I love quilter's cotton for quilting.
as far as design, it's just so much to choose from. And of course, we did the regular length, but you have the
Tunic length.
tunic length in the pinky purple plaid here is so
and this
lovely.
one, the tunic, we put the collar on. On the cover, the tunic only has the collar stand, but you can mix it up.
All right, so that's what we have.
All right, so you're doing this sale at 2 o'clock on Tuesday,
Eastern time.
October 5th.
Sure.
All right, I can hardly wait.
Can't believe it's already almost October. Well, yep, October 5th it will be.
Yes, it will.
It will be. Okay, so feel free to reach out to us if you need anything. Otherwise, we will see you back here
Tuesday
October 5th.
at 2 o'clock at Islander Sewing Systems. Don't forget about the book sale, and happy sewing this week. Bye-bye.